Start game now. Welcome, retro fans, to another edition of the No Swear Gamer. I'm joined by the pencil topper Man-at-Arms Squishy Head because Man-at-Arms here has been going around warning children about bad video games and making good video game choices. And today he brought us Ballz with a Z for your Sega Genesis. Let's look at the box art or lack thereof. It just looks like a bad 90s graphic. It really doesn't do any. It looks like someone put this together in 5 minutes. It kind of looks like almost like a generic art for a rental game back at Blockbuster or something like that. And ironically, this copy did come from Blockbuster, but even on retail shelves, this is what it looked like, and it really doesn't tell you much. But let's go ahead and put Ballz with a Z into our Sega Genesis and just find out if this is a wise choice or not. Let's go to the game. Ballz with a Z came to us in 1994, back when ending words with the letter Z was a sign you were cool. It was developed by PF Magic for Accolade. It is a one-on-one fighting game set in a 3D arena for 1 or 2 players. You can select from 8 playable characters, including a clown, a bodybuilder, a rhino, a ballerina, a caveman, a sumo, a superhero, and a monkey. Sprinkled throughout the game are various bosses, including an ostrich, kangaroo, dinosaur, a genie that can morph, and a jester who is the final boss. From what I understand, if you beat the game, you can actually unlock all the bosses as playable characters, but I was not able to confirm this myself. There is a basic 3-button control setup. You basically have a kick, punch, and jump button to use, and just like most other fighters, each character has a series of special moves that they can pull off using various combinations, but this is not the typical Street Fighter 2 combinations. This is more of the back, 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 or forward, forward, forward kind of combinations going on in this game. The graphics in this game are pretty crude, to be honest with you. You can see that each character is made up of various spheres. It does have kind of an early kind of computer modeling look going on, but it's kind of hard to tell exactly what the characters are supposed to be at first, and you may actually need someone to explain it to you, or at least reference the manual to figure out exactly who you're fighting. The arenas do rotate in a 3D fashion. That is kind of impressive, and they do have kind of bland backgrounds as well. The sound and music is also nothing to write home about. They kind of go for this techno beat, but in the end, the techno music that they use gets very irritating very fast. This is not a family-friendly game either. It is very kind of crude, using its MA-13 warning, which back then basically meant it was kind of like a PG-13 movie, trying to kind of push the envelope a little bit, but it just comes across kind of as an immature middle schooler who's trying to be crude to be funny, but just comes up being more irritating instead. Now, it doesn't really directly swear, but there's tons of innuendo in the game, from the game's name itself to some of the phrases that are put in the backboard. So yeah, overall, I just found this kind of putting off. On eBay, the game goes generally for $4 to $5 loose. Complete copies go for about $7, so it's pretty cheap. It was also released on the Super Nintendo and the 3DO as well. The original was made for the Edge 16 modem system made by AT&T, so this was meant to be an early modem game to be played over consoles, but that Edge 16 was canceled. However, the technology for the game lived on. If you've ever heard of a series called Pets or Dogs or Cats, all those ended with a Z. They use basically the same technology that was discovered for this game, and they continue on to this day. So if you ever see one of these games that ends with a Z nowadays, I think they even have some on the Nintendo DS and the Wii. Yep, you can thank Ballz with a Z for starting it all. So the technology is impressive, and it did carry on, but the game was not. I don't even think they came out with sequels after this game, and for good reason. So overall, what did I think? Well, I found this game to be pretty boring and crude and rude and not entertaining at all. It was very hard to pull off moves, and no matter what character I was lucky to defeat a few characters in a row, but then when I got to the first boss, which is an ostrich, I basically got myself defeated every time very easily. I found this game to be very tough and frustrating, and as I said before, just not fun. I felt like I was just button mashing more than anything. When I did pull off special moves, they didn't feel any more effective than punching and kicking, and actually punching and kicking ended up being more effective than anything. So the special moves were kind of meaningless and they weren't very intuitive. And it does get a little disorienting as you go around the arena trying to get to the characters, and it felt like way too often the characters had a far distance. Now I did think it was kind of cute that you can beg for mercy and it will regain some of your health, but other than that it wasn't too impressive. The technology though was impressive. It made me wonder if you had this technology in the hand of the right developers, if maybe you could have came with a very basic virtual fighter game with a better control scheme than this. But oh well, that is that. So overall, I'm going to say that this is a terrible game due to both playability reasons and rude and crude unfamily-friendly issues. It's a game that you should pass. Where am I going to rank it? Well, I'm going to look at the very bottom of my list where Mighty Max is. Now, Mighty Max was irritating in its gameplay and its level design and its monotony. But you know what? I think I actually had just a little bit more fun with Mighty Max. And be honest with you, I have no desires to play Ballz with a Z ever again. I would actually rather play the adventures of Mighty Max, and that's saying a whole lot. I hope that I have to play neither game again, but Ballz with a Z is my new cellar dweller for the Sega Genesis system. Hey, if you enjoy reviews like this, even if you don't like the game, would you go ahead and click the like and subscribe button? You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Go to either one and search for The No Swear Gamer. Thank you guys for giving me a little part of your day. I hope I didn't waste it too much with this game, but I hope to see you next time on the next episode of The No Swear Gamer, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a better game than this one. Take care, everybody.